So I have an addiction to making TBRs that are very unattainable, and nothing has changed for 72 hours in the Reading Nook. If you don't know, I have a readathon coming up that I co-host with some of my friends, Books with Lexi, Melanor Reads, and then we have a guest host, and this time it is Monica from A Little Bit of Monica, and it involves a spinner wheel. Well, actually 2 spinner wheels. I'll link the announcement video down below for you to check out, but essentially what we do is we read for 72 hours and we have wheels that we spin. We get prompts and we read for those prompts. This year we have an in your comfort zone wheel and an out of your comfort zone wheel, but they do have the exact same prompts on them. It's just the books that you're picking will be slightly different. Definitely check out the announcement video for way more information, including times, dates, and merch. We're selling these cute little bookmarks for the readathon. I think that you need one. But I'm here today to set up my TBR for it. Since there are 2 wheels, in your comfort zone, out of your comfort zone, I've been putting together books that I think will work for it. In your comfort zone is easy. I pretty much looked at my shelves and said, what books do I have that I'm excited for that are under 400 pages? I was aiming for under 300 pages, but I quickly learned that as a fantasy reader, I needed to up that a little bit. So I think this right here is what I've determined is going to be my in my comfort zone TBR. Don't hold me accountable to this. I will say that there is going to be something that comes up at some point that was not on this TBR at all, or that I forgot to put on this TBR, and I'm still going to read it. But these are lots of my hopefuls for the weekend. We have Blood Price by Villa Roth. This is a fantasy romance. It's actually a prequel standalone in the Blood Grace series. For me, this will for sure hit author I've read from before and under 300 pages. It also, you know, will hit wild and will hit one of the formats because I do have it physically and the ebook as well. Next up, we have The Return by Rachel Harrison. This is a horror book that I'm really excited to get to. I have read from this author before, so again, it'll work for author I've read from, and I really liked Black Sheep. It's also under 300 pages again, but I do only have this physically, so I think will only work for most read format. I need to double check my stats, but I'm pretty sure I read physically more than anything else. It's about a girl who goes missing and no one believes she's going to return except for her best friend, but 2 years later she does return, but she's not the same. Never Die by Rob J. Hayes is another one on my list. It is again under 300 pages and an author I've read from before. This one is also a TBR vet. I have owned this one for a really long time and I'm excited to get to it. This is a standalone in the Mortal Techniques world. I also do have this on audio or physical. Again, something that I can read if different formats come up is really good for me because I have a small TBR, but also a large TBR at the same time. I know that this one is really compared to like anime and there's a lot of combat and battle scenes in this. I don't know a lot about this one, but I'm really excited to get to it. We have A Trial of Sorcerers by Elise Kova. This one is just over 300 pages, so this is the first one that'll count for the other side of that prompt, and it is, again, an author I've read from before. I might need to find some authors that are new to me on my shelf somewhere. This is the sequel series to the Air Awakened series by Elise Kova. This follows the next generation, and I'm really excited to try this. I really loved the Air Awakened books, and I binged through them, so I feel like this one could be a really good one for a readathon like this. And my friend Claire recommended Elise Kova to me, so I think that this counts as a friend rec as well. The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik. Now this is a chunker. It's over 400 pages, but I have always just like binge read through these books. This is the 3rd book in the Scholomance series, and I've given the first 2 5 stars, so I'm really excited, and I can't see myself not like really just being into this and wanting to continue reading it at all times. I'm excited to get back into this world. We're following our main character who's in a school that's literally out to kill them, and she's got to survive it, and it's really interesting. One of my favorite like borderline, I want to say it's like young adult, borderlining adult series. Again, an author I've read before, a TBR vet for sure. I've owned this since it came out and I need to finish it, and I have it in multiple formats as well. Then Ship of Smoke and Steel by Django Wexler, another long one. I think it's like 350 pages. Another author I've read from before, also a friend rec. My friend Rachel recommended Django Wexler to me, and a TBR vet at this point. My TBR vets are like subtle. I do actually go through my books quite well, and I didn't really start collecting books till pretty much when I started the booktube channel, so my TBR vets are not like 7 years in the past. They're pretty recent, so this one is one I'm really excited for. I've loved this author in the past. I'm not really sure what this one is following. A Fierce Warrior, Her Deadly Magic, an epic mission to steal a ghost ship. Sounds really intriguing. I do love Django Wexler's writing, so I think I will fly through this one. I think the next two are border ones. They could work for in my comfort zone and they could work for outside of my comfort zone for very different reasons. First one is this is where we talk things out. Why I think this could work for out of my comfort zone is I'm scared of short novellas. They just like are scary to me, like little short stories. And this one is like 66 pages, so I'm very, very terrified of it. But also, Lexi's recommended it to me and she thinks I'm gonna like it, and I do like horror, so I think I could make it work for in my comfort zone as well. This one would work for friend rec, new author, under 300, and I do have it out from KU as well as from the library, so I do have it in different formats for that. And Slaying the Shifter Prince by Claire Sager. Again, one that I think could be on either wheel. The reason I think it could work on out of my comfort zone is because I've read from Claire Sager before and I did not love it. Also, I've heard this is like bully romance, and I've never read a bully romance, I can't lie, so I'm not sure how I'll feel about it. But it is a fan row, so I think for fan row it could fit into my comfort zone. But there's definitely like reasons why I'm scared to pick it up, so I think it could work for either as well. This one is just over 300 pages. It is an author I've read from before, and it is a new release because it came out last year, and for the purpose of the readathon, we're counting a new release as 2023 and 2024. Leads me into my pile of out of my comfort zone books. Let's start with The Stowaway. This one is a thriller, and why it's out of my comfort zone is I do have a few thrillers that I love, but thrillers are often misses for me. I don't gravitate to a thriller. I don't love a thriller often, but there are select fews that I'm interested in, but I'm always terrified to pick them up. I'm worried I'm gonna be bored in them and I'm gonna hate them, so I just like stay away from thrillers most of the time. But this one comes recommended to me by Lexi and Mel. This one counts as a friend rec, a new to me author, over 300 pages. And I do only have it in physical, so I think it'll be my most read format. The next one is out of my comfort zone for the same reasons, The Writing Retreat. It is, again, another thriller. This one isn't necessarily recommended to me by Lexi because I kind of forced her to give me thrillers that she thought I could like, and she was like, this one you might not, but if any thriller has a chance, this one might have a chance. So it's like kind of recommended, but not really recommended. So this one would count for friend rec. I don't know a lot about this one. I just know it gets crazy. It gets wild, and I'm excited to see where that goes and what that really means. This one counts for friend rec and new to me author, over 300 pages, and I do have it both physically and in the audiobook format, so whatever format comes up. Next we have Eric LaRocca. Things have gotten worse since we last spoke. This is a horror, but I'm absolutely terrified of Eric LaRocca. I do not know why. He scares me. I'm not sure I'm gonna love him. It's also like short story format. I'm very, very unsure about him, so he just feels scary to me, and pretty much when I'm thinking of out of my comfort zone, I'm thinking about books that I'm intimidated by, books that I'm not leaning to picking up over other books, things I'm scared of. Not necessarily things that I'm never going to read, but things that just intimidate me, really. And this one does it. Again, I think I could count this as a friend rec because Lexi's always recommending Eric LaRocca. It is a new to me author, and this one is under 300 pages as well and will be my most read format. And then we have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is a TBR vet for sure. I've owned this for so long. This is truly out of my comfort zone. I don't know why I own it, but I've owned it forever and I cannot get rid of it because look how short it is. This one is literally 200 pages, so under 300 pages, a TBR vet, a new author, and my most read format would count for this one. This is just a classic, so I probably should get to it soon. Another thriller that I made Lexi give to me is The Collective by Allison Galen. I don't know anything about this. I literally asked Lexi, what thrillers do you think I could like? And she gave me a few, and I saw what were available at the library. A friend rec, a new to me author, over 300 pages, and my most read format. Then I have Just Like Mother by Anne Heltzel, which I've owned forever. Again, I could probably count this as a friend rec. I feel like Lexi screams about this book from the rooftops. I mean, one time she put her face on the cover, so I feel like it has to count. Also a TBR vet, a new author, and it is over 300 pages. I mean, it's close. I feel like this one I could stretch. It's 304. Like, I feel like I could stretch that to under 300 pages if I needed to. Yeah. So I have this one as well, which I know nothing about besides that there's cults in it. I really didn't do a lot of research into the books I have. I just like looked at my shelves and thought what would work. That's it. That's my TBR. I just wanted to get it out there for you to have some options to look at in case you are kind of struggling with what to read for 72 hours in the reading nook. But please don't hold me accountable to any of it. I don't trust myself to follow a TBR. But here's the announcement video for 72 hours in the reading nook if you haven't already watched it. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say we're here, leave me a child emoji. And I would love to know what you're planning to read for 72 hours in the reading nook as well.